decadent, sticky buns. Remember, those of you old enough to remember the 3-card Monty in New York City? Well, I'm not giving you a 3-card Monty. All 3 of these are winners. This is our sticky bun, our 5.6-ounce sticky bun. We're going to talk about how it's made, why it's better than anyone else's, how it's made with love, and how it's made with tradition as well. But for now, let's talk about what you get. You're going to get 12 of these. 12 sticky buns, normally $56. Tonight, they are $51 for 12. 3 easy pays, by the way, of $17. That comes to about just over $4 for a sticky bun. Now, let me explain the significance of the $4. These are, first of all, 4.5 ounces apiece. Probably, I don't know that you could eat it all by yourself. I really don't know. It would be a challenge because these are extremely rich. We're going to talk about my brioche dough and what is the base of this dough and why and how it's so delicious. And also the caramel on top. The caramel, by the way, was a labor of love. So here's the question. I've got to bake these into the bun. I've got to wrap them. I've got to send them to you. They have to be able to withstand freezing, thawing. Then I want you to put them in the microwave. That took about 30 or 35 tries to get the right caramel that could go all through that won't stick to your teeth, that has great brown sugar, butter, and a touch of honey notes in there. So you get a true traditional sticky bun. Made, by the way, with mixed nuts. There's some pecans in there and some walnuts for sweetness. But it all begins with this right here. You know, last time I was on air, I brought out my dough, and I felt like when I watched the airing afterwards, kind of reminded me of people who show you pictures of their kids, and you wonder why they're doing that. This dough, which I just made, by the way, this is a beautiful brioche dough. You can see how soft it is. This was made right here in the test kitchen where we are today. But I am not going to touch this dough. After we're done tonight, this is going to go under plastic in a refrigerator, and it's going to sit for minimum 24 hours, maybe even up to 36 hours. It's going to do its slow rise, its slow dance. It's only going to get more and more tender. And the reason why I do that is big guys are going to make a dough today. They're going to use it in about 3 hours, and it's going to be out the door in another 3 hours. I won't do it. No matter how much more money we could make, how much easier it is, I'm not going to do it because this is the correct way to make an artisan pecan sticky bun. Remember that I'm offering sticky buns both with nuts and without nuts, and it's the same thing. And the same applies. You're going to get these home. You're going to either put them right in the freezer or put 1 or 2 in the refrigerator. You can get all with nuts, all without nuts, or you can get a combo. Now, once you get them home, like I said, stick them in the freezer. You want to thaw these out really to room temperature. Ideally, you can go from the freezer to the microwave if you really want to. But what you really want is you want to get that caramel as close to room temperature as you can. This way, when you put it in the microwave for a full 30 seconds, take all the wrappers off, but keep the baking cup on upside down just like that. Put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, take it out, and then just lift off. You may have to scrape a little bit to get some that might be sticking to the bottom of the bake pan, but chances are it's going to just drape right down. You're going to have a wonderful, luscious brioche sticky bun that's loaded with nuts, and then also loaded with our cinnamon roll filling. For those of you who've been following me over the years know that filling has evolved. We have finally, what I believe, have perfected that filling so that it stays gooey even at room temperature. That was our best discoveries when we found out how we can continue to make the cinnamon roll filling, that it gets gooey in the microwave, but also it stays gooey at room temperature. You can eat any of these at room temperature if you want, but why would you? Let's go over it one more time as to what you get. These are 12 with a choice of combo with nuts or without nuts. You're going to get 12 of them, typically $56. Tonight it's $51. It has 3 easy pays of $17. That is $4.25 a bun. You cannot buy this anywhere out in New York City or in a cafe, anywhere for that price. You can also sign up for auto delivery. Let's take a look. Oh, man. I never get tired of doing that. That is ridiculous. Look at that. Let's try one more, 3-card Monty. Man, that's good job, Steve. Way to go. So that center bun is a great example of a perfectly executed bun. And forgive me for waxing over my children. That bun, if you see on the side, we've got a good shot of the side of the bun, which is not seared. The other 2 buns are covered in caramel, but in this instance, we don't have caramel dripping down, and we can see how the paper gently bakes the outside of the bun. So therefore, what you really want, especially with a sticky bun, in my opinion, you want the whole bun to be like the center cut. And that's what the paper is doing here. It does it extremely well. It holds the bun together. It enables the bun to bake from the inside out and give you a nice, even bake. Yeah, you can enjoy these at room temperature, but I don't know anybody who wouldn't want to just take at least 15 seconds, put them in the microwave, get them nice and hot. Don't be afraid to get them almost bubbling a little bit. You don't have to go that far, but remember, you're going to have some caramel on the inside. You're going to have plenty of caramel on the outside, with a mixture of walnuts and pecans on top. By the way, these nuts are slightly toasted, so they're not going to be soggy to the taste. They're going to be nice and crispy. And maybe I should just be quiet and let everybody look at that. That is beautiful. That's an excellent execution, and I have to, my hat's off to my staff. But it all does start with this right here. That brioche dough that is so carefully manicured and so carefully taken care of. We take that dough today, we're going to put it in the refrigerator, cover it, give it plenty of space to grow, and for that fermentation and the sugar and the margarine and the butter, all to do what I call that romantic dance, that romantic overnight dance that you just don't get if you're a huge commercial bakery that's just looking to make dough this morning, let it sit for an hour or 2, and then process it and get it out the door. Sure, it'll taste pretty good, but you're not going to get age. This is when age is good, right? You're not going to get the age of the dough. We want that dough aging, fermenting, and let me just throw out a technical point as to why. We want the dough to be strong enough to stand up in the microwave, strong enough to stand up to cutting it and handling it. We want the dough to be strong, but how do we get it strong without it being tough? And the way we do it is through what we call natural strength. The natural strength comes from, as the dough is aging, the gluten strands are forming, and they're getting stronger. The dough is developing character. I kid you not. That's what we call it, character. It's developing character and strength that way. Just if you think about it, just like when you punch down a dough, those of you who make bread and you punch down the dough and let it rise a second time, the reason you do that is so that that dough then gains natural strength. We're not mixing it in the bowl till it's fully developed. That's what we say in the bakery trade. We don't want the dough to be strong all the way. We want to finish mixing it about 3/4 of the way through, and then let nature take its course. Let the dough and the yeast and the sugar do their dance, do their romantic waltz all night long, so that now they develop this nice, smooth, shiny brioche dough that won't quit. It won't quit in the microwave. It won't quit in the freezer, and it won't quit in the refrigerator. Let's go over what you get one more time. You are going to get 12 5.6-ounce sticky buns. You have a choice: all nuts, all no nuts, or a combo of both. By the way, on the no nuts, you're really not getting cheated much in that, even though you're giving up nuts, you gain a little bit of caramel there, because we do have to make these to the weight that was specified. So you get a little bit more caramel within and without the bun. So it is, what the no nut bun is, it's simply a cinnamon bun. I know this is not a bad thing. It's a cinnamon bun meets a caramel bun. You don't necessarily need the nuts. Personally, I love the nuts. I love the crunch. I'm not going to say sweet and savory, because it really isn't savory, but the crunch of the nuts up against the caramel and up against the dough, all of that blends in for this delicious, just wonderful mouthfeel that you get with excellent dough that has been treated right, romanced by the yeast and the sugar and the flour in the dough, and I'd like to say treated correctly by our bakers, who have such respect for the process. And you'll hear me say that often. We are as much about process as we are about the recipe. The old man who taught me everything I know used to say, you can have a great recipe, but if you have a bad process, it's not going to work. You can actually have an okay recipe, but if you've got a really good process, you could actually pull it off. You could pull off some quality baking. So process is huge. Everything about the way the dough looks, the way it feels, the dough temperature, and letting it do its slow dance. You're going to get 12 of these. And again, about $4.25. Now, I think I paid this morning for a 10-ounce cup of coffee $3 and change. So for $1 more, you're going to get this work of art, this work of artisan craftsmanship, known to us as the caramel sticky bun. It took years to perfect this. It took years to perfect this dough, and also it took years to really find the solution, these paper cups, to getting you a bun that eats like the center of a big tray of buns. We've all been there. You've gone to the bakery and you see that tray of buns or whatever it is, and you say, can I have the piece in the middle? You don't need to do that here, because we, by baking in this paper cup, have dulled the heat around the edge of the bun. That's why you get that nice light bake on the outside and a thorough bake on the inside. People are taking advantage of the auto delivery, so remember, which makes a lot of sense. This was not a stock up and save item, but we did win it for the cinnamon roll. And I would have to say, if you like a stock up and save for the cinnamon roll, you're going to like that for the pecan sticky bun. 12 of these for $4.25 delivered to your door, or 3 easy pays for $17. Right now, I'm going to say goodnight because it's time for me to go to bed, and I'm going to throw it up. Sergio! Look who it is.
Hey, Jimmy, one of my favorite people, And Jimmy, I love you so much. You want to know why? Because you remind me of my dad. He had a bakery for so many years. Every time